Hello, you are listening to English edition of Konopný podcast dedicated to cannabis growing and another interesting information about cannabis. My name is Josef Krejčík and I'm publishing books and articles on this topic for more than 12 years. I'm wishing you a pleasant listening. Hello everyone, you are listening to Konopný podcast and I'm here in Amsterdam because I wanted to visit a couple of friends and I'm sitting here with Luc from Paradise Seeds. Hello Luc, how are you doing?
Hi Josef, I'm fine. It's great to see you again, brother. We have cycled together on a bike tour, a medical cannabis bike tour.
Yeah.
So there's a big bond between us.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that it was in Czech. We were riding from Czech through Germany and to Austria to Cultiva, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I remember that was a great weather at that time.
Yeah, it was stormy weather. We had it from the people that stepped on the bicycle for medicinal cannabis. Only 40 arrived at the destination that day. Well, about 80 got on the bike, but 40 had to be picked up and 40 finished.
First day was only for tough guys, you know. I think you finished and I finished too, so
yes,
we can say
we both finished.
Yeah, we both finished.
The two of 40.
Yeah,
it was a difficult, rainy, hard wind. Yeah. It was a difficult day. Yeah. But fun, as always. So it's good to see you again, Josef.
Yeah, thank you.
Happy.
I'm very happy that you found the time to see me because for me it's always nice to see you. You are a legend. I think I can honestly tell you that when I started to write books like 10 or 12 or 13 years ago, I didn't even dream that I will sit with Paradise Seeds bank owner and talk to you as with an old friend, and now it happens. So you can see that dreams can get true sometimes.
Yes, nice. I totally agree.
Yeah,
cannabis was to produce cannabis and being a breeder was a dream for me when I was young. So I started when I was a kid at my parents' house in the garden of my parents, because a friend of mine from the Caribbean, we have there an island, Aruba and Curaçao. These are Dutch islands in the Caribbean. And he used to live there, and he brought the first seeds, and he brought me the first cannabis, and I started smoking, and that changed my life. Yeah. And from that moment on, I knew I was going to be involved in cannabis for the rest of my life. And it was so impressive. And at the time, it was not so usual as it is today. But at that time, that definitely opens my world. It changed it. So I was, a couple of years later, I moved to Amsterdam, and I started my own home grow space. I was in the underground in Amsterdam, occupied, growing plants on the balcony, but also indoor with bad lighting. At the time, there were no really good lights.
That's right.
And we had to invent everything ourselves. So that was in the 80s, end of the 80s. And in 1994, I had so many plants produced already, and also made many crosses and selected seeds from everywhere around the world. Because there was also already a lively coffee shop scene, which we got involved in. And I got seeds from everywhere, from visitors from around the globe who came to Amsterdam to find in Amsterdam that sort of thing that was nowhere else. Hippie time was already a little bit over, but still that freedom of doing what you want and the coffee shops attracted a lot of people to Amsterdam. So Amsterdam at that time was the cannabis hub of the world. It still is, partly, but as you know, everywhere cannabis. You can find cannabis everywhere now.
Yeah, that's
At the
right.
time, it was different. You found it in Amsterdam. You found it a little bit in Holland, but in other countries, it was not so available.
Yeah.
Shall I continue?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Continue. I love the stories.
So we started growing in this underground scene, and I was living in a squat.
Okay.
I was young, and with other people we were in the squat. I was having a grow operation, and the three brothers, or the three what's it called? The three friends were like going in a sort of a brotherhood, and we were doing the cannabis breeding and the cannabis multiplication of the varieties and a little bit of seed production. So I had a whole big collection of seeds, and I had a couple of favorite plants, and this I had brought to coffee shop. Coffee shops really liked it. And they gave that to their customers. Some of these coffee shops were well known in the U.S. scene, in America, North America. Many visitors from there came every year to Amsterdam, also at the High Times Cannabis Cup, and they really liked our varieties, or my varieties. The brotherhood separated. Two of them went different ways, but I continued in the cannabis. I wanted to do more. I didn't want to get commercial though and sell only weed. My interest, or my specialty, was with crosses. I like to see what more of the biology of what happens when you cross this variety with that variety, and doing selections and so on. And so I started a seed company a couple of years later, in 1994.
Okay, cool. So it's it's 30 years almost, right?
Almost 30 years.
Yeah, incredible.
2 years.
Yeah, you told me that you started to grow when you were like 17 in your backyard, in a house where you live with your parents. So you started to breed from the beginning, or later?
No, a little bit later, because I was only young then, and I lived in that squat, and that was nice, and I crossed some varieties there, and I got varieties from around the world. So we were growing these, and it was for fun, so for our own supply of cannabis. So we didn't need to buy it at the coffee shop, but at the time. Also, we provided a little bit to the shop, and they enjoyed our varieties. And they asked, "Can you make seeds of this?
Okay.
And can you give us seeds so we can sell the seeds?" That's what I started to do at the time.
Yeah. So and it leads to idea to establish seedbank.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. That is exactly how it went.
Okay.
Apart from that, I had also at that time an encounter with the police. So the police busted me in my new house. I moved out of that squat and moved into a house, and in that house I had also plants.
Yeah.
And at the time everything was still not highly regulated as it is nowadays. But so they let me have those plants. But the law changed a little bit, and you cannot have plants anymore, but only if you had plants for breeding, plants for seed production. So when I got busted, then it was the time I was already selling seeds, and then my lawyer told me, "Hey, if you don't want to have problems, get yourself registered company." So I was already selling the year before that our seeds to coffee shops, and also into the UK through an advertisement. But we didn't were a registered company at the time. So when I got busted, my lawyer told me, "Hey, now you have to get registered, otherwise you will get into problems, and they can fine you, and you cannot get your equipment back. So I went to the Chamber of Commerce and I got registered in 1994. And indeed, I went to the court and the Minister of Justice, no, the Officer of Justice, who became later on a minister in our government, sent me away. He heard of me and he saw my brochure, Paradise Seeds, and he said, okay, no problem, you can go.
Okay.
Finished.
Good.
So I got off the hook.
Yeah, good. Can you tell me what time coffee shop started in Amsterdam, in Holland in general? Because I was, for me it's a long time ago. So, but maybe you remember that, or
yes,
it was in 70s or later in 80s.
Yeah, I think it was in. I'm not 100% sure on the date. But I think it was early 80s. I think the first coffee shop was there in 1982. Okay. I believe. Anyway, the first coffee shop was called Yellow Mellow, and Bernard Bruining was the owner of that. And he later on started also the first grow shop in Holland, in Amsterdam. But Bernard, and there were a couple of others also. Of course, a big coffee shop, the Bulldog, was opening its doors already in early 80s. But Yellow Mellow was the first place where you could legally, or not legally, but where you could buy in a surrounding of with a football game and a coffee and a nice sort of
like a club where they
a club, but more like a house, a living room, more like that actually. And there you could buy your first hashish, and then he was making this possible. Before that, there was something going on in Holland because there was parties, festivals, and they were using soft drugs. It was called soft drugs, marijuana and hashish. And the police came there and they saw, hey, this is actually quite peaceful. What we can do? They're doing something which is not allowed, smoking soft drugs. But apparently nothing goes really wrong here. So let's leave these guys alone. If we bother them, there will be more trouble than when we leave it. So they left, and the festival was a very nice festival, and that's how actually the situation of the Netherlands came about, with the tolerance towards cannabis and hashish.
Tolerance is great thing.
I think tolerance. Everybody should be a bit tolerant to make the world a living place.
Do you remember the first strain name, or?
Yeah, one of the first strain names is, for example, Dutch Dragon.
Okay.
And this is the old-time classic, and we still have that. So is Sensi Star and Nebula.
Okay. So Nebula was like an original.
We started with five. Yes, Nebula is an original Paradise variety. Cool. Sensi Star also. Only Sensi Star from Paradise is the real original.
The reason why I'm asking is because it's very confusing, especially for young growers and people who don't remember like times before 10 or 15 years. Because nowadays there are hundreds, maybe thousands of seed banks. And lots of them are selling like the same names. And I'm trying to tell people that it's not like that to breed some strain need some time. And every time I do interview with some seed bank owner, I'm asking this stuff because I talk only to...
it's a good question, Joseph. Yeah. We are one of the few companies, actually. There are not that many companies that are breeding their own varieties. Many of the seed banks are just buying seeds from the underground and putting their different name on the same variety over and over and over and over again. And that is something that is very annoying to us because I think you should produce your own quality and make your own varieties, and not just change names of varieties. So you can buy seeds and put a name on it and put it in a package, and that is then you pretend that it is yours, but they're actually it is actually not.
No, and that's only reselling. What I see in your, because we have catalog of Paradise Seed strains here, and I can see there are like a registered trademark visible in every name of your strain. What I see.
Yeah, we have a genetics library of 40 plus. Currently 48 varieties, distinct varieties.
Okay.
Distinct and unique varieties. So these varieties are also available this year, and if they are not taken out of our catalog to replace for a new variety, then the same variety will be available in the next year and the year after, again and again. Yeah. And that you will always have the same good quality.
Good. You are producing only feminized seed, or you are also selling regular seeds occasionally? Because I know that the market with regular seeds is not very big, it's small. But anyway, do you sell still some regular seeds or not?
At the moment, not. We might be doing that again later. But I said before, we were founded in 1994. And in 1999 we won the High Times Cannabis Cup and also High Life Cannabis Cup for the first time with a variety called Sensi Star.
Okay.
And then you just mentioned feminized seeds. So we sort of a pioneer in cannabis genetics as well. And in 2001 we produced our first feminized varieties. Already a long time. We were one of the few companies being able to make cannabis seeds in a female version.
Okay. Yeah. Good. I think this is something what is definitely future of large scale producers.
That has changed everything. That has changed the whole scene.
That's right. I think for this purpose you made another company like Paradise Phytogenetics. Am I right? Do I remember?
No,
good.
I don't want to say too much about that. But we have Paradise Phytogenetics, and we do supply our genetics to licensed producers that are legitimate growing cannabis, but from the state, authorized by the state.
Okay.
There are several countries in Europe that are providing licenses to growers.
Czech is one of that. One of them.
One of them is Czech Republic, and another one is Portugal. Nowadays also Germany and Denmark, for example, in Europe. Also UK, Greece, Malta, Spain. So the list it was different a couple of years ago, but they are also using our genetics. So Paradise Seeds is our company that sells to the end consumer, and Paradise Genetics, Paradise Phytogenetics, is a company that sells to the LPs.
Now it's clear. I know.
But that is only started just last year.
Maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. We met in Berlin on ICBC.
Oh yes.
And I think you introduced this
company there.
Daughter company, or doesn't matter if it's a daughter, brother, sister, mother, or grandfather, but it's connected to Paradise Seeds.
Indeed, it's us.
It's you. You said you have like more than 40 varieties at the moment. It's like to have 40 children, and now I will ask you which of these children is your most favorite. Can you tell me, like, you don't have to name only one, you can say more, but what are varieties you like the most?
Now we have multiple awards winning varieties.
Okay.
Many of our varieties have actually won cannabis cups and are very high quality, of very good, superb material, and full with flavors and taste, and it smells good, and high cannabinoids, high profiles of cannabinoids, which is what people are looking for. So that we have indicas, sativas, and all sort of varieties. But to pick a few nice ones, I think for production, Mendocino skunk, a Tommy Chong variety, a Wappa, for example, a Dutch Kush, and what else shall I say? A Delahaye, and El Dorado. I just name a few.
Yeah.
Are really good production plants.
Yeah.
They are really good for production.
I can say that I have a good experience with Wappa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Belladonna was also one of strains which I was really satisfied. I cannot say that I tried all of them because it's not possible for me to try all of them. But I grew also California Gold. And yeah, Nebula, everybody knows Nebula. You know, when I was young, it was like one of the few strains you can grow. So nice. Yeah, great. Definitely, I have a couple of only few seed banks I can recommend, and Paradise is one of them because I like someone who is really breeding. You mentioned Tommy Chong's line, so
yes,
you know, lots of people know Cheech and Chong movie about two guys who are smoking a lot, you know. So Tommy Chong's line, can you tell us something something more about it? It's tell us the story. How you met Tommy and what leads you.
Tommy Chong for me is a cult figure. When I was young, I got high, I got stoned, I put up a movie. I mentioned earlier that I got my first plants from the Caribbean. This person, my friend who came from the island there, Curaçao, Aruba, he was also familiar with Tommy Chong, and I wasn't. So he introduced me to Tommy Chong when I was 17, 18.
Really?
Really young.
Cool.
He was like acting. Open up, brother. It's me. Who's that? And so we were playing Tommy Chong movies.
Yeah.
When we got stoned, we were playing the movies.
Yeah.
So and later on, I moved to Amsterdam and I saw Tommy Chong, all the movies, and I really got to know him. And but years later, he came to Amsterdam, and I first shook hands with him, and again years later, that must be about 7 years ago, his manager came to Amsterdam and came visit us. And we had a good relationship, built on a relationship, and they wanted to sell Tommy Chong cannabis in cigarettes, like joints, in Amsterdam to the coffee shops. And I said, no, I don't think there's a market for that at the moment. But you know what we can do is we produce Tommy Chong varieties. So if you can select a few good varieties, we can brand it under the Tommy Chong brand. And that is how we sort of have now a couple of years already a good relationship with Tommy, and we release once in a while, we release varieties together. Currently Blue Kush Berry, LA Amnesia, Mendocino Skunk, are 3 varieties under his brand name, and also in our auto flowering collection, we have Autokong.
Yeah, so I see you have a varieties which are from original collection, California collection medical program. It means that in medical program there are strains which are more rich in CBD. Is it right or
No.
no?
No.
So
We have a medical program that is you can buy seeds from us if you are a medical cannabis patient. That you
Okay.
can buy the seeds for, I don't know, with
50% discount. I
for
see it now.
50% discount. So
Okay.
if you're ill and you need medicine and you think cannabis could be your medicine, then you could buy in our medical cannabis program on our website the seeds for half price.
Yeah, good. I think I feel a little bit pain in my back, so I will get 50%, and I feel pain in my knee,
Yeah.
so I get another 50. So
Yeah, you
So
get
I
them
have-
for free.
yeah,
Yeah, that's yeah. So now we know where you're here for.
yeah. You have to give a try, you know.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have an original collection, the sort of classic, and we have a California collection that is the new varieties from the US, which are becoming more and more popular.
Yeah, lots of people want to grow US varieties or.
Yeah,
Sounds
but
like
US varieties are often not so stable.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and also not there's a lot of problems with hermaphrodism and also with yield. And but there are unique flavors there. So it adds to our to the germplasm, to the genetics of the European varieties that we were working with. So we are happy to endorse Californian varieties. And you will find that we use them and integrate them in our collection and try and work with them and breed with them to improve the quality, to make it more stable and continue to have the fine flavors that the Californian or the US varieties
Bring
to the table and bring to the palate. And therefore, you can buy from us, find from our collection very nice American influences which gives better results often than the original.
Yeah. Luc, I have to ask you because I know there is some program in Holland how to solve the backdoor problem of coffee shops.
Yes.
There were some lottery, or I don't know if I tell you exactly as it was. That you can apply for. You should apply for license to grow for coffee shops. Did you try to apply for?
Yes, we applied for it.
Yeah, and have you been successful in that, or?
No, unfortunately. So it was indeed a lottery, and you were lucky if you were picked out of the hood of the big. And a notary did that, and I think it has been done fair. I think it was a fair competition, and some were lucky and others were not, and we were unlucky. We didn't win, but I don't regret it afterwards because it takes so long. And I think by the time that this comes to place, the coffee shop experiment, as it is called, they have selected 10 growers in the Netherlands that can grow cannabis for the coffee shop. And then you have to compete with other growers to find your varieties in the coffee shop. So you have to compete on prices and whatever. And but it takes too long now. It's already 2.5 years ago, and still nothing has come out of this. But I know of people that have invested in that, millions, and still they're still waiting for anything to happen. So I'm actually quite glad we didn't win. And I think by the time that this coffee shop experiment will come to place, it has become already obsolete. It is not necessary anymore because by that time Germany has legalized cannabis for recreational use, and Czech Republic too, and probably not much longer the Netherlands will follow. And then you have this coffee shop experiment, which is makes no sense anymore.
Actually, I'm a little bit skeptic in this way. Like, I'm afraid that the wave of legalization will be not as fast as we expect, but I hope so. What is your expectations? You just said that you expect that in Germany and maybe hopefully in Czech we will legalize for recreational use quite soon, but we don't know that yet. What is your expectation in the European Union perspective? How you see the legalization like in Europe? Do you think that we can expect like in 5 years like a big wave of legalization, or you think it will be different?
Yeah, if we I think it will be different. I think Germany will has taken already the decision to legalize adult recreational use. So they will get out of the treaty, the 1961 convention, and they will get in it later again. And I think doing this, the rest of so that will be then a European-wide move probably. I think lots of other countries will follow Germany, but there is no. Germany has decided to for adult use, recreational use. So there's no way back anymore, and they are also moving forward. I just lately new information came to light that they are actually moving ahead pretty fast. They want to legalize medical recreational cannabis in 2023. Whatever it takes.
We will see. We will hope for best and be prepared for the worst, as we are last decades, you know. So, Luc, I think I was checking the questions I prepared for you, and I think it's I'm almost done. The last thing I wanted to ask is, you are selling seeds worldwide, so I can expect that your seeds are available everywhere. Is there something you wanted to mention yet before I will place last question? I'm asking all the time. So now you can, if you want to say something, this is a chance to do that.
No, thank you.
Good.
No. Maybe I can say something. I don't know what to say, but I would encourage people not to break the law, but at the same time also, if you have the chance, and to test and taste some of the, if you are cannabis connoisseur, to taste some of our latest varieties. Sunset Paradise, Tangerine Sorbet, the chocolate waffles or the glow stars, that sort of varieties that we have just brought into our menu. These are relatively new varieties. We will have some more to come. Also, our auto-flowering varieties I would definitely recommend, and because I think we have good quality auto-flowering varieties also. And check our website, paradiseseeds.com.
Yeah.
And Paradise, there's a little line in the middle between Paradise and Seeds, so paradise-seeds.com.
Yeah.
And that is it. I think we have a very fine seed collection.
Yeah.
And we are established since 1994, almost 30 years now. Yeah. We have a good history.
Yeah. I have to mention that all links and some links also to some strains we were talking about you will find on my website, on article connected to this episode of Konopný podcast. So, Luc, there is one question I'm asking everyone I do interview with. Do you have some message for growers or to cannabis community? No.
Yeah, be careful. Don't break the law, or if you do, then yeah, be smart about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can say here. Growers, yeah. Yeah, you should read a book about growing that first, because otherwise, yeah, or know other growers that can teach you, because growing cannabis is not the easiest of plants. Tomatoes is much easier. So there's a lot of problems always with outdoor growing. You have to watch out for fungi and other pests and diseases that could affect your plants and the health of your plants. You have to work clean always, also indoor. If you do indoor work, make sure your space is clean. Nurture your plants. If you put passion and love towards them, they will reward you big.
Yeah.
Paradise Seeds.
Yeah.
Get some packages now.
I have to agree with Luc. Like, yeah, I saw a couple of grow rooms. It's really necessary to keep it as clean as possible. And if you have good information, if you have a clean grow room, and if you have a great genetic, your success is very close. Yeah, and yeah, this is the last thing. This is the last message from our interview with one and only Luc Krol. Pleasure to see you here. I'm very happy that I visited your headquarters here in Amsterdam. And I hope we will meet each other sometime on a bike again.
Nice.
And yeah, and definitely we will see each other on another trade show. And maybe we can do another interview later when things will change in Holland, in Germany, in Czech, whatever. Maybe, hopefully, cannabis will be legal in all around the world. And maybe there will be less wars afterwards, and people will be more open to talk to each other and not to fight to each other.
I totally agree, Joseph. Thank you for coming over. It was a pleasure having you here. I would also like to thank the audience, the Czech audience, Czech Republic, and all the people there. Just a personal message to you from here, from Holland. I appreciate you people very much. You're really decent and cool people. I've come already for over 10, maybe 15 years to Czech Republic, and I like the grow scene in Czech Republic very much. So I hope to see you again at our expo in Prague, and also at the coffee shop, at the grow shops. You can find our varieties in the Czech Republic. Everywhere we are available. Paradise Seeds is available. And yeah, keep up the good work, everyone, and stay in tune, and be careful. All the best, and may peace arrive in Europe again. Yeah. Also against the war of drugs.
Yeah. Okay, I cannot add anything else. Have a nice evening, have a nice day, morning, whatever. Bye-bye.